My wife is a nurse in the greater Seattle area. Before any of this happened, hospitals were already chronically understaffed. I call my friends that are doctors in different parts of the country, and speaking to my wife and her nursing friends across the area, and on average it ranges between 30 and 40% on a daily basis. They don't have enough. Hospitals in general in the United States don't have enough staff to treat their current sick populations. Sometimes patients are diverted, sometimes they have to wait. That was before any of this happened. Now, because of the way this is progressing, there are patients showing up with COVID symptoms all over the hospitals. Different floors, emergency rooms, med-surg floors, they're showing up everywhere. And now these hospitals have to find a way of treating them in place and exposing more people, or moving them and hoping that they make it to whatever containment facility they have set up. It's an impossible place to be in. They don't have the staff and they don't have the resources. And now it's getting worse because members of the staff are either voluntarily quarantining or falling ill after exposure to patients that are found to have COVID symptoms in different parts of the hospital. Because of that, what is already a critical staffing shortage is now becoming ever so more critical. One of those staff members home sick from work is my wife. She spent 3 days working on the ICU with suspected patients, and now she has a dry cough, fevers for 3 days, tightness in her chest, and a sore throat. Her symptoms are so far very mild, and we're monitoring them closely, but no one is tracking us. No one is asking where we've been or who we've gone to or anything. The last time we talked to them, which was before the recommendations came out that it was physician's discretion to test for COVID, they said she didn't meet the criteria. And now that it's physician's discretion, the tests don't come out to the end of the week. And the capacity to run these tests requires manpower that we already don't have. I'm wearing a mask right now to hide my face because this shouldn't be about a single person or a single hospital or a single nurse. This is an American healthcare problem. All of the hospitals are understaffed. My wife was a travel nurse for a period of time, and she worked at other ICUs in the United States, and they're all understaffed. We don't have surge capacity. And now nurses are home sick with this, or with a respiratory illness that looks a lot like this. We don't know because we can't test them. Some are self-quarantining. Some have sick parents at home. Everyone needs to stop telling people to work from home. 70% of people can't work from home. If you can, do so. That will help a lot. But saying that 29% can ignores the 70% of Americans that maybe don't even have food for the next week. We need guidance. We need a plan. And it needs to happen now. Some studies project that March 1st here in the United States is the equivalent to January 1st in China. We have a chance still. We had a chance 2 months ago. We missed that chance. We can dwell on that, or we can make a plan today. If we act now, if we stay home now, if we start building and rolling out plans to protect people that are home, that are vulnerable, that don't have food, that don't have money, let's build out a new economy. Yeah, and that's a tall order, and that's a complicated thing, but the alternative is we all keep going out, and our hospital system becomes completely overwhelmed and overrun, more so than it already is, with the handful of patients that are already there. We are quick, we are nimble, we went to the moon. We can do this, but we need guidance from the federal and the state government. We need plans, we need campaigns. There's a song, I think, in South Korea or Singapore. It was on John Oliver. It's fantastic. Super catchy. We don't have any of that. Some people still think this is a hoax. The people that say that don't quote science, they don't quote research papers, they don't quote doctors, they don't quote current situations in different countries. They just say, oh, it's going to be better, it's fine, summer will do it. Yeah, it might lessen in summer, some project that. And then they also project that it will rebound in the fall, the same way it did with the Spanish flu. We're not ready now, we're not going to be ready then. We could act today. We could stay home today. We could build out plans to stay home today. We could find a way to support those of us who need it most. And by doing that, we can support a healthcare system that isn't designed to handle surge capacity. And so by all staying home, we stop infecting each other and we decrease the rate of severe illness. It's called decreasing the infection curve, apparently. We stay home, less people get it. Because less people get it, less people get critically ill. And the hospital has a trickle of severely ill patients over the next couple of months. The earliest projections on something that can help with this that is not staying in your house, because staying in your house right now is the only thing that we have. Therapeutics may come in the fall. Something to help lessen the symptoms or abate the virus. A vaccine isn't until next year sometime. That might as well, we can't think about that. We need to have people studying that and getting there, but the rest of us need to not think about that. We need to think about how we can stay home, who we can reach out to. And who we should be able to reach out to is our government. That's what we have them, right? To support us, to organize us, to galvanize us to a cause. You know, I've heard some people say it's your patriotic duty to stay home right now. To wash your hands. A lot. The soap dissolves as far as I know, it's the cell wall, basically. The outer coating of this virus is dissolved, is broken down by washing your hands with soap for the full recommended time. All of it. You get your fingers, your thumbs, look up a video, they're great. There's some silly ones too. But learn how to wash your hands and do so. And don't touch your face. Masks are for medical professionals and people trying to hold in their illness. I wore one of these the other day when I went shopping to get a few extra things because my wife is sick and I don't want to be a vector for it leaving my house. We're doing what we can. I'm wearing a mask now to hide my face, like I said, because it's not about me or her or that hospital or this hospital. This is everywhere. If we focus on one person or one case, we lose the bigger picture of the thousands of people that are already sick and the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands that are going to get sick over the next 2 years. We need this to happen slowly, and to do that we have to stay inside. It is the only thing right now that works. You cannot go outside your house in Wuhan, China right now. At all. We can stop ourselves from getting there. We don't have to get to that point. We can make it so that individuals can leave periodically to get resupplies, and we can still make sure that we mitigate and work to track those that are ill so that we can get them support in home and make sure that they aren't spreading it to other people. But all of this is support from federal and state government, building out infrastructure. Let's pivot a lot of our businesses and restaurants and find a way to use them to service the people that need it. And we've been building out a service economy. We have a service economy. Let's use our service economy to serve people in their houses. You know, when I talk about private investment, what an opportunity. You now have an entire new economy that you can invest in of people that are going to be stuck in their houses and not being able to get out and get food. Telemedicine could explode. We don't need to have homeschooling. We can have online schooling. Let's innovate our way through this. But we have to take the pressure off of the healthcare system by staying in now. There are a lot of ways to solve this problem, but ignoring it isn't one of them. Sorry, I'm wrong. We can ignore this problem and just let it burn through the American population and destroy the American healthcare system. We could do that. I don't think that's the moral, ethical, or financially correct thing to do. Let's take the economic hit now. Let's rebuild our economy. Let's pivot our economy. And it's easier said than done, but I think that we can do it. We need to protect our healthcare workers and make sure that they have the time and the space to do the things that they need to do. My wife can't go in right now because if she does have it and she goes into work, she could give it to immunocompromised individuals that are at the hospital. If that happens to all of our nursing staff and hospital staff, who's going to take care of the sick people? How are we going to do that without getting more people sick? They call it social distancing, but basically it means stop shaking hands, don't go out. And these are extreme times. They're going to write books about this. This is going to be one of those pivotal times in world history. Do we want to be on the side of it that protected those of us most in need? Or do we want to be on the side of it that ignored the problem until it became too big to deal with? We need to act now. We need to act today. We need guidance today, and we need plans today. And hey, you know what? If no government agency can handle this, I mean, private option is good too. Let's build out industries and companies that can serve all of these people. We have all of the science. We have all of the ability. We have people with lots and lots of money that like investing it in new experimental ventures. Let's build a new world. This is going to be the world for a while. Let's prepare for it. Let's not let it overtake us.